Hello, I'm Harvey, and I've been selling water softeners for 30 years, and in all that time I've been trying to find or develop a washing powder specifically designed for softened water. And finally, some time ago, I managed to find somebody that could do it. And sitting here with me today is a gentleman called Geoff Duncalf. Hello, Geoff.
Hi.
And I wanted to introduce you to everybody because you've been in the washing powder detergent business for how many years?
63, I think.
When did you start?
1945.
So since 1945, and who did you work for?
I started with Procter & Gamble.
Yeah.
Worked in the factory, commissioning new plant, and in fact producing the first synthetic detergent in the UK after the war.
Which was?
Dreft.
And what was the most famous product that you were involved in developing?
Daz.
Daz. So you're one of the Daz specials.
I developed Daz 1952.
1952.
Yeah.
And so you've been seeing all the development of detergents and washing powders.
Detergents, washing powders, soaps.
Persil.
Persil I was responsible for at one time.
So you've seen it all over the years.
I was in Unilever, what we then called coordination. And this was responsible for worldwide activities in detergents and soaps and so on. And my responsibility was Europe. So I had to coordinate the activities of something like 15 laboratories in Europe. I don't know whether you've tried to coordinate 2. Difficult. 3, impossible. 15, but I did it for 7 years.
There you go. And what made you interested in developing it for us?
Well, it was interesting because I'd obviously developed products for washing for many years, but never developed one specifically for soft water. And that represented a challenge and an interesting one, and offered the opportunity for a different approach, a somewhat different approach. So I said yes.
And how long did it take you altogether?
How long? It took about a year to develop the formulation, evaluate it, try a number of different ones, put it in a sort of small consumer test, and after about a year we had the formula, we had a product. Then the difficulty, of course, was getting it made, because it needed specialised equipment, and that took another 2 years, and we didn't have much success. So then I sat down and said, well, how can we make it ourselves? And if I go back, God knows how many years, we initially made granulation using a cement mixer, using a very simple mixer. When I was with Unilever, you know, before we bought sophisticated equipment, we were doing development work. And the cement mixer did it. So I thought that, well, if we did it then, should be able to do it now. But you've got to make adjustments to the formulation, how you do it, the order of ingredients, a whole complex. And so it's taken another 6 to 9 months to actually get the mix right and get the process right.
Why, fundamentally, is it better?
Well, because a normal detergent, washing powder, is manufactured to satisfy very hard water, medium hard water and soft water. Because of the need to neutralise the hardness, you've got to put in what we call builders, phosphates, zeolites and things like that. Now, when we're in softened water, of course that isn't a problem. So I can substitute those materials with actives, in this case, soap. And soap is a very, very good detergent, probably one of the best detergents in the world. And it has only suffered in the past because it makes scum in hard water. Now, we haven't got hard water, we've got totally softened water. So I can use a high level of soap. And that's really the line that we've gone down. And that's why then in soft water, everything in the product is working to clean.
Wash the clothes.
Whereas if you use an ordinary detergent, half the product isn't necessary because there's no hardness there for it to...
Why do you think that it doesn't irritate the skin as much as normal washing powders?
Well, what the product does is actually soften clothes. I'm not actually sure how it softens the clothes, but it does. And there are no harsh particles, and so I presume that it's softer on the skin. By virtue, it feels better on the skin by virtue of being softer in the fabrics.
And so why don't we make it in capsules or in a liquid form?
When you're using a liquid, most of the liquids now don't contain phosphate. They do their cleaning by concentration of active. Now the point is, of course, that in a liquid you can't put stain removal for bleachable stains, tea stains and things like that. So liquids don't actually remove stains, don't actually remove certain kinds of stains. They can contain enzymes, of course, and they'll remove enzymic stains, but by and large the performance isn't as good. So what people very often do is use a pre-treatment to get rid of the, let's call it bleachable stains. So you can't put bleach into a liquid.
So how is our washing powder better than Persil?
It's all a question of concentration. When we put in our recommended amount, it's all active. When Persil put in their recommended amount, part of it is wasted because it isn't necessary. So its performance, on balance, is better than Persil.
And so it's actually cheaper for the housewife to use our new washing powder?
Oh yes, undoubtedly. Well, because we are able to substitute active material for the unnecessary hardness salts, then all our product does an effective job. Therefore, we are able to recommend a very much lower dosage for effectiveness, and that gives us a lower cost per wash compared with conventional detergents.
Tell me, Geoff, how old were you when you started, Geoff?
2. Oh, I don't know, 3 years. I must have been knocking on 80.
It was a week after your 80th birthday.
Was it really?
You hid your birthday card so that I wouldn't know, so that I wouldn't employ you.
Yeah, well, I suppose I was 80 then.
That's
yeah.
right. So have you enjoyed doing it?
Oh yeah, well, it's interesting because anything that gives a challenge, anything that goes into uncharted territory, is good. It's fun.
Well, that was fun, wasn't it? Now, working for Harvey's Softeners all of this time is a young lady called Kay, and she's been directly involved in all the consumer testing and liaising with Geoff to get this product into the market, so to speak, and here she is.